Okay. Alright. Hey, welcome everybody to another Paint the Edge Off, where I teach you to make a cool painting in about an hour and get a little drunk doing it. My name is Joel, and today we are painting this right here. Nice little beach scene. Very pretty. Okay, it's one of those nice relaxing paintings. So that's what we're doing today. If you haven't already, like, share, follow, subscribe, search Paint the Edge Off, you'll find me, and all that. So thank you. Like always with all my classes, I'm going to give away a free giveaway painting to the first person that correctly answers my subjective trivia question first in the comments. So if you want a free painting, stay tuned for the trivia question, and I will give you a free painting. I need to get rid of them. I got too many. So today, what you're going to need for this painting, you'll need a 16 by 20 canvas. All right, that's what I'm using. You also want some kind of easel, or you can lay it down flat if you don't have an easel. I've got paper towels, okay, for any kind of oopsie daisies. I've got a water cup for acrylic paint. You're going to want some kind of cup for water to mix in with your paint. I've got paper plates for my palette. You can use anything for your palette, really. I like paper plates because they're easy. I've also got a blow dryer. Helps me dry my painting nice and fast. I've got whiskey. All right, and then I've got some tools here, okay? I've got my orange chalk and my blue chalk. That's just regular sidewalk chalk. And then I've got my 4 brushes. I've got my big flat brush, my medium flat brush, my medium round brush, and my baby round brush, okay? So take those 4 brushes, take them, put them bristle down in your water cup, leave them there anytime you're not using them so they don't get dried out. And then paint colors, we've got black, we've got white, we've got phthalo blue, we've got a bright red, we've got our light yellow, then we got a couple browns here. We got raw sienna, which is kind of like a tan, and a burnt umber, okay? So that is everything you'll need for this. With that being said, let's paint the edge off. Okay. All right, let's get the old shot counter up. 1 shot. Okay, so first thing we want to do is draw our horizon line, okay? So I'm going to take my blue chalk, okay? And I'm going to draw this horizon line a little below halfway up the canvas. Maybe right at halfway works, but let's just find about halfway, drop it down just a touch, and make ourselves a nice blue line there. Or you can use a pencil. Pencil works too. But that's where we're going to start, okay? Just a nice line right there. And with that being said, let's paint some skies. All right, so let's take our yellow paint, get a bunch on there. Let's go and get some red and blue. Yellow, red, blue, primary colors. And let's take our big brush out of our water cup, and we'll get paint. Tap it off there so you feel like a fancy pants artist. And start that water with your yellow paint. And we shall get going. Oh, how's everybody's day going? How's everybody's week going? Your month, your year? Okay. Yellow paint, and I'm just going to start right here at the line and just go right above that. I'm going to go all the way down to the line and then just start working my way up. Okay, just work your way up. Work your way up out of your dark, sad hole. You know, I'm going to add some white, actually. We're going to get a little white. Let's get a little bit of this white mixed in here with my yellow. And maybe we should have lightened this up a little bit. But the bright yellow looks good too. Ooh, there we go. I like the light. Okay, now we've got our light yellow in. Nice thick paint, so it's nice and wet. That way it blends easy. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to scrape some of this paint off on the side of my plate there. You could wash your brush out if you want. You don't really need to, but you can. I'm going to get a little bit more white paint. Mix that in with my red. Oh yeah, I will have one for you, Red. Red says, have a drink for me, I'm working. Don't you worry, I got you covered. Okay, we're gonna have just a little bit of white to our red, so it's a little bit lighter. Let's take that right here and put that right above the yellow. Light red. We're just gonna put a little light red in there. And then I'm gonna blend those. So I'm just gonna go lightly into my yellow. I can start pressing down a little bit once I get blending. And once we get a nice blend, I'm just gonna kind of leave that how it is, okay? All right, let's take our brush and wash it out. Give it a nice washing. Okay, more white. Yeah, Beth. I've taken up too much space on my plate. Okay, here we go. Here's some light blue. Oh, something like that. Okay, now when we get this mixed up, oh gosh, it's falling off. Let's start up here in the sky, go across, fill that in. We'll start working our way down. Nice thick paint. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I've really been doing anything lately. All my gamer friends, my Overwatch buddies, got the new Overwatch beta, and I not put in the effort to get that. But you know, it's okay. I'll play at some point. Let's see. Maybe we'll get. I have to get a little bit of purple out. Let's get a little bit of white and red here. Now I want to start mixing these together. Now the problem here is that it can quickly turn into a very dark purple, weird purple color. So I'm going to try to stay up here in the blue, not get down to the yellow, because orange and blue will make a pretty gross color. Okay, so we got a little, you know, blendage going on there. A little bit more light red. Okay, that's a little oopsie. Let's take our towel and let's wipe it off. Wipe off our brush there. Let's get maybe a little bit more of this light red. My red is getting overpowered. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna leave it before I ruin it. Maybe I should have gotten purple out. Maybe that would have been better. Okay, I'm going to paint my side edges and my top, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, so... yeah, I've just been working lately. I'm trying to think of anything interesting that's happened. I don't know. Red, just started going to work. Red, you worked pretty late, right? Alright, so let's paint our edges. Paint the edge off. I'm going to make it where it matches the front of my canvas. Alright, here we go. Let's go and wash that out, get some yellow paint. Alright, get back to my yellow paint over here. Get some yellow paint on your brush. And let's paint that edge so it matches. There we go. Okay, there we go. Sky, done. Time for a shot. Actually, I haven't been drinking too much, so that's good. Gone like 3 days without drinking, so I'm gonna treat myself. cap for that. Okay. Shot 2. You know, I'm gonna blow dry for just a sec. Just a sec. I'll go ahead and wipe this so it dries a little faster. It's underneath my horizon line, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe that a little bit so it's not so thick, it dries faster. And yeah. So yeah. Anywho, I don't know. So I saw the new Batman movie. It's on HBO already, so I'm happy I didn't pay to see it in theaters. And you know what? I'm gonna hold my opinions of it till the end, because the trivia question today is: was Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman in the new Batman movie was deep and thoughtful, B, a whiny emo teenager, C, badass, D, I haven't seen it, E, a realistic interpretation, F, completely unrealistic, G, a mysterious hottie, or H, an embarrassment? Those are your answers. Oh, you got 9 more hours to go. Sheesh. Sheesh. Oh, man, you work late, dude. Factory life. Okay, so I want to get that just dry enough so I can paint my water and it's not going to mix with the yellow. So that should be good. Okay, I'm going to take the trivia question down for a minute. And let's start painting our water in. Okay, so take your brush, make sure you get it nice and washed out. And let's go to our blue paint here. I'll try to keep away from my yellow. Just want some nice, dark, phthalo blue paint here, okay? Okay, get our water mixed in. And then we want to make a nice solid edge here, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna start by just kind of getting this in first. Get a nice baseline under the line that we drew. Get that in. Okay, now let's take some thick paint, and I'm gonna turn my brush on the skinny side so it lines up right with the horizontal line here, and I'm just gonna take it, press down, and that's not straight, but whatever. So as soon as you get that rough texture, I'm going to go ahead and get some more paint. Keep painting because we want this top edge to be nice and solid. There we go, it's a little straighter there, and then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of brush that in down there. Okay, let's continue this over here. Now that's gone up a little high. Now the only good thing here is that this left side will be covered a little bit, so but I could try to fix it by going okay. You know, some of that showed through. I kind of like it though. It kind of looks like a little reflection of the sky, so that kind of works out. Happy little fuck up there. And let's take this blue down a little bit. And now I'm going to go about halfway. Oh, actually, I probably went a little too far, but that's okay. Let's add, I'm going to go over here to my light blue that I have mixed up here. Back over here, this is what I use for the sky. Let's start with this. Let's add a little bit of yellow. We're going to try to make kind of a marine color. Now, is that yellow? Ooh, it was pretty strong. I'll grab a little more blue. A little bit more blue, a little bit more white. Just want a tiny bit of yellow, just a little tiny bit. Should be kind of like imperceivable to the naked eye. Just a tiny drop of yellow, just to barely change the color. We need a little bit more white. Okay, we got some white. Let's add that in. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. That's a good color. Now we're getting some aqua. Aqua, one of the best bands of all time. I'm a Barbie girl. Shout out to all the Barbie girls out there living in their Barbie world. Let's take that all the way. There we go. Take that down pretty low. I don't have to go all the way to the bottom because I'm going to put sand down there. Okay, but let's go ahead and try to bring this up a little bit higher into the dark. I want this to kind of blend into that darker blue a little bit. I do want to take this up just a little bit higher, maybe just barely. Okay, so there we go. Nice, kind of a hard edge there. So I want to take my brush, keep brushing. Okay, you don't need more paint. You just need to keep brushing it for a minute. Bring your blue down, bring your blue up. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, sky done, water done. I think it's time for a shot. Cheers out there to everybody. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. Happy May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Day, everybody. Today is Star Wars Day. And with that being said, let's talk about Batman. Again, trivia question is, Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman in the new Batman movie was A, deep and thoughtful, B, a whiny emo teenager, C, badass, D, I haven't seen it, E, a realistic interpretation, F, completely unrealistic, G, a mysterious hottie, or H, an embarrassment. Okay, take a guess. Whoever's right, send you a painting. Okay, let's get this nice and dry. Next, we're going to add in this. Actually, I need to add a little crap. You know what? Before I do that, let's take our medium flat brush. Here we go, medium flat brush. Let's get some white paint on a new plate. Let's take down a trivia question. That's not a trivia, that's Seth. That was Seth, the Egyptian god of chaos. There's Anubis, Osiris, Amun-Ra, and Seth. It's real, look it up. I didn't know where the name Seth came from. Apparently it's an Egyptian god. When are people going to start naming their kid Anubis? I know there's already kids named Osiris. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to take some white paint, and let's go ahead and take our brush. We want to kind of keep it flat, so I'm going to take it down, pull it through, flip it over, pull it through. And then keep it horizontal. I'm just going to make some little skinny lines, okay? These ones down here at the bottom could be a little thicker, a little bit more spread out. And then as we go up, we'll make them a little smaller, closer together, so they look like they're further away. Alright, so let's go up here. Let's make some little smaller ones. They can kind of fade off a little bit. And, you know, let's kind of play with this a little bit. Let's add some. You can make, they don't have to all be perfectly straight. You can kind of let this, while it's wet, it can kind of blend a little bit. Add a little bit more variation in your painting. This one's real wet, so I know if I touch that, it's gonna that kind of cool. Okay. One thing I might do is I might get a little bit more of my blue. Right here, get a little bit more of that. And I can take this and kind of do the same thing. Add some little lines in there. I can take a little bit more blue, a little bit darker. Just another shade of blue, and then we can add some of these. And it's you know, pretty subtle, but if you're painting along with me, you'll notice it. Okay, so now our water's got some little waves in there. Now we can dry it. I almost forgot. Okay, blow dry time. And I think it's shot time too. Okay, shot time, blow dry time. So yeah, happy May the 4th. I saw a trailer for the new Obi-Wan show. That looks cool. I think Obi-Wan was like kind of my favorite character. Boba Fett was pretty sweet too, though. Ugh, 4 shots. Okay, once this is dry, we'll take our Rossi and we'll mix up some sand. Let's just dry this off, you know? Let's just dry it off. Let's let this just dry off. It's getting pretty dry. Okay, let's take our raw sienna. And, yeah, let's take our big flat brush again. Want to really make sure it's washed out. We don't want a bunch of blue mixing in with our raw sienna, so let's wash that out. Wash, wash, wash. I got a lot of blue in there, so I gotta kind of do that for a little bit. Good. Okay. All right, let's take this. Let's mix our raw sienna in here with some white. Quite a bit of white. I don't want it too light, but somewhere in this range. There we go. Something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and this is probably a good time to take your chalk and draw some stuff in. Let's go ahead and draw a line here. This is going to be where my... I know that's wet, so let's skip over that. Let's go ahead and draw in where my beach is. Curve that. It's going to kind of curve in here. And we want this kind of to stick out, I don't know, to about pretty far, maybe about here. And we don't want it to come up too high, maybe about drop down a few finger lengths from where the top of that is, and that's about where this furthest point out is going to be. Okay, and then from there we'll go ahead and just kind of draw a little line back like that. Okay, let's take our tan. Let's paint this in, and there we go. Get all the way down to the bottom here. Let's put my canvas up so I can get to it. Okay, let's make this edge kind of solid here. Nice thick paint. Go right along that. Oh yeah, just go with it. There we go. A nice solid edge there. Same thing around here. You want to make a nice solid edge so you get lots of thick paint. There we go.
No one wants to
Where it moves. Hide out. Okay. Now we've got that all filled in. If you want, you know, you could take maybe another little shade of raw sienna here. I'm just gonna try to jazz it up. A little bit. Maybe I'll put a little different, some texture in there. Maybe take some of this light and just kind of brush, kind of rough, sporadically. Okay, yeah, here we go. Our sand's in there. Wow, look at that sand. Very nice. I guess probably need to blow dry yet again. Now, the next part, I'm going to do the rocks. It's going to be a lot of black and white. And our small, or our medium flat brush. What you know, that you know. Let's see. I don't got anything to talk about today, really. Just me. There are places in between. Cheers. Oh, Philip. Oh, my cat's looking at me. You know, I've always been allergic to cats, but sometimes I wonder if it's like psychosomatic or something. Because when I was a little kid, my earliest memories I had, we had a cat named Whiskers. And Whiskers would kind of hated me. I was like 2 years old, 2 or 3 or something like that. So I was a little kid and I'd run around and I'd kind of chase it and chase him. And I guess I annoyed him or something because the cat hated me. It got to the point where the cat would like wait for me and then pounce on me and attack me. My parents got it declawed, but they took the claws out of the cat, but they didn't take the hate in his heart out. But one of the earliest memories I have is I remember I was climbing, crawling behind the couch. So I was a little weirdo and I'd like to crawl in these tight spaces and crawl. And at one point I feel something watching me. I look up and the cat is just looking down at me, right? And it looks down and then it just pounces on me. And it starts biting the back of my head and I'm screaming and hollering and I'm like, ah, you know. And the cat is, you know, trying to murder me, and I'm screaming. My dad comes in and yanks it up and yanks the cat off me and smacks it, and it runs under the couch, and my dad was like, okay. And then it comes back out, and it kind of like wobbles, and then it like zips off. And supposedly that cat ran away. My parents tell me that cat ran away, and I'm like, are you sure you didn't just let it go? But they swear the cat ran away that week. I mean, it's probably hated us. Okay, let's mix up a gray. Just mix some white and black there. Just really any shade of gray, doesn't really matter. You can mix up 1 or 2 or 49 shades of gray or 50,000 shades of gray. Anyway, yeah, the cat tried to kill me, and then it ran away that week after my dad smacked it a little bit for trying to kill his son. And I think maybe ever since then, maybe it was a psychosomatic thing that made me allergic to cats, you know? I mean, mind over matter. Because now I just got a cat for the first time in 30 years, and I mean, it definitely makes me queasy and itchy, but like, I don't know. Not as bad as I thought. I guess you kind of get used to it. Okay, let's paint some rocks in here. So the rocks are going to go right along this little curve, and then they're going to kind of come down here. If you'd like to draw that in, you can take your chalk and kind of draw in a little section. It needs to get a little bigger around here because they're getting closer. And then they can kind of fade off in that section, right? You can kind of draw this little section to kind of start. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going to take my gray and I'm going to go horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. And I'm going to start with very small brush strokes here. In between, you want to go. Alright, so let's just keep going down here with that. I'm just going to hold my brush like this, like a little toddler. Okay, now as we get down here, I'll paint them a little bigger. Let's just keep painting these square. Try to get more angular lines in here to, you know, show that they're rocks. Something like that. Prop my canvas up. Okay, we'll keep going here. I'm trying to cover this. It's kind of blending with some of my sand a little bit, so I'm kind of going back over it to make sure it covers it. Nice and solid. Down here, let's pick some nice thick ones. I got a nice thick one, if you know what I mean. Just kidding. That was too far, Joel. Too far. Okay, there we go. Maybe I have one little rock there. Maybe one little poking out there. Okay, pile of rocks. Look, we did it. We painted a pile of rocks. Let's take a shot. Anyway, my trauma with cats. Then when I was like 8 years old, I remember I went to my aunt's house and she had a cat. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't breathe because I have asthma. Cat-induced asthma. And I had to go to the hospital. It was pretty bad. I almost died. I almost died according to the doctors. Alright, shot. That's shot 5? No, 6. Alright, moving right along. Okay. Got gray in there. Let's take some black. Just some straight black, homie. And I'm going to do a couple layers of this where I'll kind of go black, do some white, maybe go back to gray. Let's take some black in here. What I want to do is I want to kind of put this down at the bottoms of my rocks, not every single rock, but maybe some of this, some of that. And try to imagine some of these rocks in the middle. So, black there. We're just gonna start building this up. There's also like little shadows in between the rocks, so I'll just kind of feel it out. Wherever you think there's gonna be a dark spot in there. Maybe a dark side of a rock. Dark Side of the Rock. Great Pink Floyd album. Excuse me. There we go. I'm just going to keep adding this black. And I'm going to hold my brush like I'm 4 years old. And go, I take my brush and I paint like this. I take my brush, I paint painting. That's how 4-year-olds talk. I think. You know, I used to work in a school, and little kids are pretty dumb. I don't know if you know that. Don't tell them I said that. But I always thought, of all the age groups, like preschool and all that, I feel like 5 years old is where they really become crazy monsters. That's where they really start putting it all together, start realizing what they can physically do with their body, torment everyone around them. Maybe it was just my experience, but I don't know. The kindergartners I had to deal with in that school were just the worst. They're insane. And you can't reason with them. They don't know what's going on. Okay, let's take our brush and let's get a lighter, very light gray, almost white. Very light gray. Lots of white mixed with our gray. And now we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna put kind of some of the brighter spots, so that'd be more kind of towards the top of the rocks. So let's do that. There we go. Now your paint's gonna keep mixing. This is wet paint. Just keep getting some fresh paint on there. Go. Okay. Get a little bit of that. A little bit of this. That. Boom. Boom. Maybe some in there. I'm just making this up. Just let it all go. Just start building these up. If you do a couple layers you don't like it, let it dry and paint some more layers on top. And good. So this is kind of a pretty loose spot. You can kind of do whatever you want with, so you can let it dry and just keep going, and you know, get there eventually. It's rocks. I mean, it's kind of a vague impression of rocks, so you can kind of play with that quite a bit. Now we're getting a little bigger down here. Let's pick some bigger brush strokes. Now let's get back to our gray and let's really mess it up here. And now let's kind of go back and do what we did originally. Okay, let's go here, kind of covering up some of the spots that are too much. Kind of just blending some stuff in, and I kind of like to mess it up a little bit here. It's a little too patterned. You don't like that? Go back and just mess it up. Just gonna go in here and just play with this. Just like my cat as a child that played with me like it's prey. Played with me like I was a torture victim. Just torturing me. This is a little too square. Let's do that. Mess that up. We'll do some. Oh yeah, I like that. Just kind of some diagonal lines. There we go. Hey, look, they're rocks. Look at that. Looks like the idea of rocks, you know? So there's that. Alright, congratulations again on another step well done. Let's take another shot. Trivia question. Anybody wants one a painting? No, that's not it. That's Seth. Was Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman in the new Batman movie deep and thoughtful? You know, I phrased this like the answer is a question. But you know what I mean. Anyway, answer that if you want a painting. Okay, cheers. I'm gonna give this a little blow dry. But you know what? Philip, my cat, is pretty stinky, and it's probably the worst thing about him is he just smells bad. These cats smell bad. The smell is horrible. It's like overpowering. It's crazy. It's gotten to where we just leave them in the garage. Oh my god. The smell of that garage is just... it's horrible. I need to change his litter box more often or something because it's a nightmare. But I love him. He's a sweet little cat. He's pretty aggressive, pretty forceful. Kind of comes up and just comes right in your face, and when you're like, yeah, no, kind of push him away, he just keeps coming back. He's a little bastard. Okay, let's make some green paint, everybody. Let's take our brush. Let's go back to this plate over here. Get some more blue on here. sure you got enough blue and yellow here. And let's take our big brush and we'll mix up a nice green color. Okay, now if you don't know, blue and yellow makes green. So just mix up a nice kind of medium green, maybe kind of a light green, but just like a medium green. Now you'll need a lot more yellow than blue. Blue's a little bit stronger color than yellow, just is. Whenever you're mixing colors, you'll find certain colors, the pigment's just stronger with certain colors. Yellow's typically a very weak color. If you ever buy paint and it says yellow hue or blue hue, that means it sucks, basically. That means it's cheap, essentially, and it doesn't really, like you need like twice as much of it. So you'll find those and they'll be cheaper, and that's because you need twice as much of that color if you're mixing it in with something. So if you get just regular cadmium yellow and you mix yellow with blue, you'll still need more yellow than blue to make just an even mixture. But if you get yellow hue, you're going to need like 4 times the blue or 5 times the blue just to make a nice medium green. So anyway, another art tip for you. Art tip. Hey Joel, what's a good art tip for buying paint? Well, if you get hue, it's a lot worse color. Thanks Joel, good art tip. Hey, no problem. No problem. Okay, let's take a paper towel. And you know what? I'm not feeling super drunk yet, so let's take another shot. Fucking lymph nodes are sore. Allergies. Okay, shot counter. Okay, let's take our paper towel. And what we want to do here is we want to take it and do this. Okay? Just like that. Okay? See that? Dip it in our green. Start filling this in. Oh god, excuse me. Oh, it's hitting me. Alright. Okay, let's dab it in, okay? So, now basically... Okay, this little blue space is going to drive me bonkers. Got a nice tight... Screw this one. Let's do another one. Let's get it nice and tight. We don't want these spots really sticking out too much you can't control. Let's just get a nice tight ball there. Okay, dip that in your green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this... And here... Okay, and this is going to go up above my water. Okay, so take this above the water, up into the sky here. Let's make that nice and solid. Let's fill this in now. You can kind of see a little bit of that lines there, like where you see the blue. So I'll go back and maybe add a little thicker paint right over that. And then let's go down here. Let's bring this down. It's going to go pretty much just kind of down at the same angle, but it's going to go kind of off the edge down here. Bring that down like that. Okay, let's fill that in. Strange thing is, I'm the strange thing here. Okay. That's an old friend of mine, TJ. Wordplay TJ. Had art class with him. He was awesome. Good artist. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got green. Wow, look at us. We're amazing. Okay, let's take another shot. Look at you guys. You're such good painters. Oh. Okay, what was I doing? Yellow paint. Okay, let's get some yellow paint here. Huh? Paddy's a pub. Alright, some yellow paint, and now we're gonna go in with some yeller paint. Now, what I want to do here is kind of, you know, spread this around, but kind of keep it a little more towards the top. I'm also gonna use it to kind of cover up these lines. You can kind of see the sky and ocean line through here. I'm gonna use that little trick, little art tip. And then we're gonna kind of spread this around. Maybe I'll put a little bit here. I'm kind of imagining little clumps of bushes or foliage, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to keep this, I'm going to kind of leave the bottom pretty much that darker green. Let's take this lighter green, I'm just taking straight yellow. Straight yellow, homie. Okay, and then I'll kind of spread that around. And then I could take some darker blue green if I dip my towel in blue and green here, kind of mix myself up a nice blue green with my towel. I can take that, and I can take this and make some darker colors here. And you could kind of put this in the spots where your yellow isn't, where your yellow aren't, yellow paint isn't, where it aren't. Put it where your yellow paint aren't, and all your brush strokes isn't. Okay, there we go. Now we got some different variations. This seems a little strong. Maybe I'll fudge that up a little bit. Some of the parts that seem like they're sticking out a little too much, you could go in there and kind of fudge it. There we go. Alright, fudge it. There we go. Good job. Hey, good job, everybody. You're doing great. You're a great artist. Now's a good time to look at yourself and say, hey, I'm doing great. You know? I'm doing great at life. I'm doing great at painting. You know, every so often, stop, look at your painting and say, wow, I'm so expressive. Or sometimes you gotta really beat yourself up, because part of being an artist is hating yourself a little bit, and you gotta say, wow, derivative. Look at your painting and say, derivative. And then you'll be a real artist. Another shot. Okay, cheers. Oh. Oh, that one. Okay. Oh, that one didn't feel good. Oh, come on, Whiskey. What are you doing to me? Don't do that to me. Okay, alright, is our, rocks dry? Oh, man. Okay. I think it's pretty dry. I'm gonna give it just a quick blow dry. Just to kind of get it. Make sure it's nice and dry. Whatever. Okay, let's take a new plate. Let's get some white paint. White paint. Let's get our, now let's take our little medium flat brush and let's wash it out again. Now, you know, let's take our medium round brush actually, because I'll leave him out. Or her. Maybe it's a girl brush. And let's get some white paint on there. And I'm just gonna paint in some white in our go back to the water a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of start by drawing a line right here between the water and the sand. Start like that. Make it kind of wiggly and, you know, kind of thick and blobby. And then, you know, what I'm gonna do is I'll take this and I'll kind of press down a little thicker in some areas. And let it fade off and then thicker. Okay, so we kind of get this, you know, what's it called? Tide, you know, whatever. Bubbles coming in there in the water. And then, let's get a little bit more white. And then, let's go ahead and put some flat lines in here. Alright, now I'm going to go back and kind of put some of these back in. I want some really thick ones down there at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some waves crashing up against these rocks. So I'm going to kind of purposely make some big ones kind of run right in there. And I don't care if it goes over. I'm gonna fix that in a minute. I'm gonna make that look like water hitting the rocks. Okay, so but let's do this. Let's put some white lines in here. In here, let's do a couple. There we go. Up here, let's start making them a little thinner, a little closer. Let's put another strong one going right there. That's gonna be another little wave crash. And you know, let's put another one here. We'll have 4 little wave crashes hitting the rocks. And we could put another little one coming up somewhere else in the water. Let's put another line going there. Now up here up top, I do want to add a little bit more of my white lines so that this doesn't seem so drastic. But I'm gonna make these real small, very faint. And then they'll kind of fade off. Try to make them as small as I can. Those are a little thicker than I meant, but hey, whatever. What am I gonna do? Sit here and overwork every little thing? No. I gotta have fun painting, you know? Let's put one up there. Oh shit, that little bit. Whatever. Okay, there we go. Hey, there's some white lines. Let's take a shot. If anybody wants to win a painting, here's a trivia question. Robert Pattinson's performance in the new Batman was what? You know, emo teenage little bitch, or was he a badass, or was he realistic? Was it unrealistic? Was it an embarrassment? Or was he a spooky, mysterious hottie? You tell me. Okay. Ugh. Oh, I know what I did the other day. My girlfriend took her car to the shop to get a tire put on, right? And, you know, she used to work at an auto center. She knows how this shit goes, right? When she takes it in, you know, they quote her so much money, right? It's supposed to be like $150. She's expecting it's probably gonna be like $180, really. When you add in labor, parts, whatever. I mean, they supposedly added in labor and parts, but it's always higher. It's supposed to be like $150, $180. $180 is kind of what we're expecting. Comes back, it's $240 something. So we're sitting there going through the bill and like this doesn't add up to $240. And also her cruise control, everything hooked up to her tires was not working. So my girlfriend's very nice, unlike me, and she wanted me to go with her to this tire place so that she's like, well, you know, they're like different to girls than guys. And I'm like, I don't know, not if you're a bitch. Just go in there and be an asshole. But anyway, she's not an asshole. So I went with her. And she starts in nice, like, well, I just don't get this, blah, 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 you know? And the lady's kind of like, well, you know, we'll see. When she's like, oh, well, that doesn't add up. And I'm like, yeah, and then what about this? Why is this doesn't, what does this charge, you know? Like, didn't we already, there's 2 charges here for the same thing. And then this other dude comes up. He's clearly the... Oh shit, I got green in there. Fuck. Okay. Get my green off my paintbrush. Some nice clean white paint. Anyway, this other dude comes up and he's this old guy. He's like the manager of this tire shop, and he's like... But he starts talking, he's like, hey, well, oi, here's what you got. Well, this is what it adds up. He's like this British guy. He's got like a Cockney accent or something. So then I'm sitting there arguing. Well, I'm not arguing with him. I'm just like, yeah, well, how's this add up? Show me this adds up. What's this for? What's that for? It's like, well, hold on. Okay, well, see, this adds up here, and this adds up to that, eh? And I'm like, okay. All right, well, okay. It goes through all of it. I'm like, so yeah, what doesn't add up? He's like, well, no, it does actually. Actually, you got undercharged. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, oh, but you did get overcharged for the oil. It should have been $3 instead of $7 if it was this kind of oil. And I'm like, I don't care about $5 difference. I care about the $60 difference, you know. Anyway, I don't know. It was kind of funny, though. He was, like, adding stuff up. He, like, kind of turned his... He was like, well, here, I'll add it up. And he kind of, like, he acts like he's going to turn his monitor around just so I can see what him adding everything up. But it's not a monitor that turns around, it's just it's stable. So he kind of tilts and he ends up tilting it like this much, like barely. And I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of peering around and I'm doing this. And he's like, and so I was like, yeah, what was that $55 charge there? What was that? You know, he's like, well, and he starts getting all flustered. Anyway, I'm not proud of it, but like, then I finally am like, okay, well, anyway, all this aside, can you just fix this stuff? Because now this shit doesn't work. It worked before he brought it in, now it doesn't work. And they did take it in and fix it, but I was just kind of like, man, this car places are such ripoffs. Like, there's so many of those places, like, you gotta, they just all rip you off. It's crazy. I was sitting there, when the lady was adding it up, I'm like, so how are we supposed to know it's gonna be $60 more? We're just supposed to assume it's gonna be, you know, an extra, you know, what, 33%, extra third basically to what you quote us? Is that what we're supposed to do? Like, how are we supposed to know if it's gonna be that much? Just tell us and we can plan for that. And she's kind of like, she didn't know what she was doing. The British guy had to come in and, dude, he just seemed like a dickhead too. I mean, they're all dickheads. Tire shops, any kind of car place. It's crazy to me. Their business model is lie to you on the phone so you come in and do business with them, and then charge you what it actually is. And then most people don't argue with you. And then when they do, you argue back, but then eventually they argue long enough, you give in. Like, such a fucked up, I don't know. It's America for you. That's America for you. Fucking hellhole. I'm not very happy this week. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to like vent. I just want to vent and complain. That's what I want to do. I'm trying not to. So anyway, how about that Met Gala? Am I right? I don't even know what happened. I just heard that happened this week. But who fucking cares? Am I right? Who gives a shit? Hey, Met Gala, people wore crazy dresses and got awards for who gives a shit. That's how I feel about the Met Gala. Who fucking cares? Can you imagine if all those celebrities took the money that they spent to go to the Met Gala and look pretty and get an award and like gave it to people in need? Wouldn't that be insane? The millions and millions of dollars that could go back to like feeding people in need. Wouldn't that be crazy? If I ever get wealth, I'm just gonna pick people at random and be like, here's $10,000. Pay off your debt. If I were king of America, I would force everyone over a certain income bracket to just take a chunk of it, pick a family in need, and give them like 10 grand. Right? Why not? How much money do you need? Frida, this is America. You can do whatever you want. You can fuck people over as hard as you want. Why don't you force people to be nice once in a while? If you don't force people to be nice, no one will. Whatever, Joel. Don't get political here. Don't get political. Okay, let's draw on our palm trees. Let's do that. Okay, palm trees. Let's take our blue chalk and let's draw a couple palm trees. Let's make a line. This one's going to go about to the middle of my canvas, or a little past halfway. Boom. Palm tree. Boom. Let's do another one here. Boom. Palm tree. Okay, now to do our palm tree leaves, our lettuce here. Let's gonna make a little. Trying to imagine a umbrella. Trying to imagine a little umbrella. Here we go. Or fireworks, but it's kind of more oval. It's kind of more spread out, horizontal oval. Maybe that's a good way to start. Let's draw a big oval. Maybe that's a little too big, but let's draw a little oval. Your chalk comes off with spit, okay? Okay, so let's just kind of do our umbrella wings there. Look at that. Okay, let's take our light raw sienna here. There we go. Okay, let's start by adding some water in here. And let's draw a nice thin line. Let's take our brush and just go, wow. Oh, wow, look at that. It was a little too light. Well, whatever, we'll start here. We can darken it up and lighten it up, make some... I want to get a lot thicker down here towards the base. I got a thick base for you, just kidding. Okay, okay, there's one palm tree branch, trunk. Let's draw this one here. This is gonna be a little smaller. This is a little smaller trunk. But it still gets a little thicker at the bottom. Okay, now let's add some more of our dark, more of our raw sienna, make it a little darker. Okay, now I'm feeling super hammered and I've had less shots than normal, but I guess it's because I haven't drank in like 3 days. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, let's take our darker. There we go. Ooh. Now what I want to do is I want to kind of pull this up. So I'm going to take my brush, put it right on this edge, and I'm just going to kind of pull this way, right? Right? Let's go ahead and do that. Just little flicks of the wrist. This gives it that texture like those, whatever these palm trees, you know, their bark, how the bark is kind of like in these little chunks. That's kind of what that is. Okay, let's do that on this back one too. Same thing. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, there's that. Wash your brush out. Take another shot. Well, you see, if there's the pots and the this and the that. Guthrie, what's up? Ugh. Guthrie says this painting has mood, goals, and vibes. Well, good. I'm happy. Happy you think. Happy about that. Okay. A little bit of white paint. That sweet he made it too. Okay, got some white paint. Now I'm going to do the same thing kind of in reverse here. I'm going to take this from this side and pull this down. Maybe not make it so solid. Maybe I'll kind of skip it. Skip it. Bop it. Shop it. Plop it. There we go. Damn old Show Creek. Okay, there we go. There's our tree. Congratulations, one more shot. Hey Guthrie, I made a end screen. Hold on. Okay, let's get a shot counter. Guthrie, look at my new end screen. Oh, you know what? We don't have the music on there. I gotta fix that. That's my end screen though. Okay, okay, trees. Alright, let's take, again, this is a good one, again, for your medium flat brush. Take your medium flat brush here. Get that green paint on there. Alright, don't be shy, just get the green paint on there. Here's what you want to do. Take your green paint, and I'm gonna trace in those lines that I drew. Ooh, so we start like that. Look at those thin, skinny green lines. Okay, that's how we start. Okay, now here's what you want to do, okay? You want to take this and you want to go where? In the middle of your line, make it a little longer. Okay, but on the end you start real small and then get bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay, now in those ones that are going straight down or straight up, you're going to do the same thing on both sides, little short ones, big in the middle. Okay, you could do that on both sides a little bit. Alright, small, big, big, big. Okay, small, big, big, big. Big. Okay, small, big. Small, big. You get the idea. Okay, now let's go ahead and do both palm trees. Here we go. Okay, I gotta take my time. This is what happens. I get to the end, I get drunk, and I try to rush it. I gotta not rush it. Let's do a nice little. Highlights. There we go. Highlights. Thank you, highlights. So start out small in the ends, they get a little thicker as they go towards the middle. Okay, so now we've got our palm trees in. Let's take some blue, mix that in here. We've got a nice dark green. Yeah, shit, mix that with my white. That's not good. Okay, nice dark green here. Now, how does that sound? Now I'm going to put my dark greens in on my palm trees. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go here. I'm going to outline some of these. Basically like the little spines of these, you know. And then I can take this and kind of brush this in a little bit. Give that a little bit of... Just add a little bit of the darknesses in. Darknesses. Oh, you know. I'm gonna leave that one. I actually kind of like that one being kind of right in the middle. Okay, let's do that on these. Okay. Now that's a good time to take a step back and go, oh, what's it look like from way over here? Whoa. I don't know. What's this? If you take a step back, you see some stuff that, like, I don't know if I particularly like these trees. They're okay, I guess, but... okay, let's do this. Last thing. Take your napkin, swat it up. See that? Very technical. Do it exactly like that, okay? Okay, let's take a dip in some yeller. And what I want to do is I want to take this and dab this right over the base of these trees. So they're popping out of the bushes, okay? Okay, and I know a thing or two about popping out of the bushes, if you know what I mean. No one knows what you're talking about. Alright, well, whatever. I don't think you even know what you're talking about. Alright, maybe not, I don't know. Okay, let's take our brush and get some of this sand color. And what I want to do is paint my side edge. And then let's paint the bottom. Paint the bottom edge. Okay, last thing we gotta do is sign our name. Let's talk about the trivia question. No one guessed. I don't think anyone really watched today. So it's just me talking to myself most of the day, but whatever. We'll talk about the trivia question and then sign our painting and we'll be done. Okay, we got our side, all of our edges painted. Today's trivia question was Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman in the new Batman movie was A, deep and thoughtful, B, a whiny little emo teenage bitch, C, a badass, D, I haven't seen it, E, a realistic interpretation, F, completely unrealistic, G, and a mysterious hottie, or H, an embarrassment. Okay, so I talked a lot. I didn't really talk shit on Batman. I just talked shit on the fact that they just keep doing the same thing. The whole time I thought it looked cool. This does look like a cool new Batman, but like, how many times are we gonna see a different interpretation of Batman? And I stand by that, okay? How many times are we gonna do the same thing? I mean, come on. Can we do anything new? The answer is no. No, there is nothing new. But we can take the same story and make it cool. Anyway, so it came out on HBO Max, so I already have HBO Max, so essentially it was like free to me. So I did watch it. And I gotta say, it was pretty awesome. It was kind of my favorite Batman so far, probably. I mean, The Dark Knight, pretty hard to beat with Heath Ledger, but it was pretty sweet. Really enjoyed it, so... I was wrong as far as it not being the same thing over and over. It was a little different. It was cool. But, you know, I'm just gonna itch my armpits like a monkey now, and, say that happy May the 4th be with you, and congratulations to everybody for finishing this painting with me, and you know what? Happy Wednesday. I'll talk to you later. Bye. End screen.
today.